Hi everyone, I am extremely excited to share the very first N8N workflow that I have completed and it is working perfectly fine. What does it do? So it is a weather update workflow or an agent as you may call it that gets triggered when a chat message is sent and it figures out which tool does it need to use in order to address the query that's being sent by the user. So here's the current weather tool and here's the forecast weather tool that it approaches as per the requirement of the user's query. These two tools, by the way, are two different workflows that are working in the background that I will be explaining later in the video. So let's just get into the demo first and then we'll be explaining everything about this particular workflow. So first of all, we're going to open up a chat here and let's ask how's the weather like in Islamabad. Alright, so what it's going to do is the message has been received by the AI agent. It has figured out which tool does it need to use. It has used this current weather tool, formulated its response and sent it back into the chat box. Let's just see what's the response like. Alright, here we go. The weather in Islamabad is mostly cloudy with some sunshine peeking through. The temperature is quite warm at this and it's a bit humid with humidity at this. There's just a little breeze blowing to 0.9 kilometers per hour. And what to wear, it is also giving a suggestion of what to wear. It's warm out, so light and breathable clothing will be comfy. And then there is this cool joke right at the end in order to make this conversation a bit friendly. So our next question would be, what's the forecast for upcoming days? So what's it is going to do is the AI agent has figured out now the user is asking about the forecast for the upcoming days. It has gotten into the forecast tool, formulated its response in the backend, and has thrown it here in the chat box. So here it is. So here's a friendly forecast for the upcoming days in Islamabad. So day 1 forecast is here, day 2, day 3, and day 4, day 5. So 5-day forecast with a suggestion on what to wear in the coming 5 days is also listed in the message. So how is it actually working? Okay, so first of all, um, this current weather tool is a separate workflow that is running behind when a user plugs in a query. So let's just hop back into the workflow, and then there is this current weather workflow that is that our main AI agent or the workflow is fetching the information from. Let me just break it down. Let me just break this workflow down into bits. So when executed by another workflow, this is the node that gets the message or the city that the user is asking about the weather for. Then the city is plugged in into the Open Weather app, whose APIs we have connected into our account. The credentials have been added here. It has picked up which city the user is asking to know about the weather. So let me just execute this step right away, right here for you in order for you to get a gist of what's the output like after this query is being run in this open weather map. So it has outputted quite a lot of matrices regarding weather. For example, temperature is there, feels like 41, max temperature is there, the pressure, humidity, sea level, ground level, and deck gust. Everything is degree or gust, everything's written right here. But we cannot really output this um, all these matrices to the user because most of these matrices would not be really helpful to them. So we need to find a way in order to break this message down into a simpler English, if I may say so, and present it to the user at the end. All right. So for that purpose, what we're doing here is we are getting that output we've gotten from the OpenAI app, and we have fed it into this OpenAI tool and asked it to define a message that is user friendly. Let me just show you the prompt that I've been using here. Put the parameters below into a single query file. Ensure it is a string. Whether description is there, temperature, humidity. It is going to fetch the temperature variable data here. It is going to fetch the humidity data here, wind speed, and the city data. And if I execute this step, it is going to formulate a message and gather and make an output based on the prompt it has fed. And as you can see, there are a lot of matrices that may not be useful for the users to know, the pressure the pressure or the sea level or the ground level, or maybe the visibility. So we have picked up a few matrices that are important to a user and have made a relatively simpler paragraph out of it. All right. So in the next OpenAI model, what we're trying to do is we've given it a few more instructions or prompt in order to get a bit of cool message. So the prompt is convert the content into simple English, use emojis, and add a suggestion for dressing based on the weather. Also tell a cool joke at the end. So this is exactly where the suggestion for the dressing and a cool joke at the end is coming from. If I have to go in here and execute this step, I've fed the content that I've gotten in the output from the previous OpenAI message. I fed it into this particular um, particular prompt, and this is what I am getting at the end. So this is finally a user-friendly message where all the important matrices that a user is actually wanting the information for are added, and there's a suggestion for what to wear at the end, and a cool joke that to make the conversation feel a bit lighter. And then in the edit fields tab, what's happening is it is figuring out that the task that have been assigned to this particular workflow has been completed, and it is actually giving back to the main workflow the output that the work that's been asked for this workflow to be done has now been completed. All right, so let's just get back to then the 5-day forecast weather tool. All right, so this is the workflow. It is working exactly on the similar lines as the previous one was working. So it is this workflow is going to get triggered when a user is going to plug in the city that it wants to know the temperature of, and then it is going to go into this open weather app. It is going to get the data of the city. It is going to get into this particular app. We have selected the 5-day forecast model here, and we're going to get all the matrices, all the weather matrices of the upcoming 5 days. We're feeding it into this OpenAI message in order to generate a response that the users that is actually user friendly, and only those matrices of a weather are included that we want the user to know or the user is actually concerned about. So this is the step that's been executed after uh, after this particular output that we've gotten from the previous OpenAI model. And then when the workflow is completed, this edit field is going to send back a yes to the previous workflow that it has completed the work, and it is ready with the output that the main workflow needs to show to the user. So here it is, the update weather app at the end. So let's conclude everything here. It is a very simplistic workflow, but what I am trying to learn or do here is how can I use multiple tools for an AI agent as um, as separate workflows. Like, both of these tools have separate workflows that we have built ourselves, running in the background and providing us with the information. So this is, although this is one workflow, but it is constituted of two separate workflows that are working at the back end. Let me let me know what you think about this N8N workflow, and if it has added anything uh, into your learning. Thank you.